You're listening to the Car Pro Insider Podcast, episode 38. 5 of the stupidest things automotive sales managers say to salespeople. Let's get into it. Hey, what's up? I'm Robert Wiseman, and I have helped car sales professionals from around the world sell more cars by building their personal brands, attracting high-quality car buyers, and becoming the go-to car guy or gal in their marketplace. So what does it take to become the car sales professional that people are lining up to do business with? This is the Car Pro Insider. Yo. What is cracking, Car Pro? I am so glad you are here. This is, again, as you know, the Car Pro Insider Podcast. I am Robert Wiseman, and you are in the right place if you are looking for creative ideas, strategies that are outside of the box, and latest, greatest resources, and everything all about automotive sales. This is episode 38, and we're just trucking along here, man, having a great time. I'm hoping that your month has been going good as to where we stand. It would be actually your last month because as recording this, I'm at the beginning of February 2017, if that does matter, which probably it doesn't. That's the beauty of these podcasts, man. You put them up there, man. They just sit there and rot and roll, man. They're just there for anybody to consume. You never know when they're going to listen to them, when they're going to come across you. It's a beautiful thing. Anyway, back on track. Here we are, man. Episode 38. I got a lot of great feedback from last week's episode, the previous episode 37. Get all that, robertwiseman.com/37. And that's where I had my first guest on, Miss Dana Croft from Card Tap, Auto Tap, and we were talking about apps and had a good time with her. She's gotten some great feedback. So if you listen and if you're one that reached out to her and took some action on that app, and that opportunity too to save some dough on this great marketing tool, then good for you. Salute to you. Thank you. If you haven't yet, go over to Robert Wiseman again, robertwiseman.com/37, and you can listen to the episode, hear the product she's talking about, and also get the necessary information to qualify for that big savings on that if it's something you're interested in. So again, today we're going to do something a little bit different and new. We're just going to have a little bit of fun with this. Something I was talking about with a car salesperson from Canada the other day. I spent some time on the phone with them. We were talking about sales managers and some of the bull crap and the funniness and the things that they say that it's like, how is that there's nothing management about it? It's ridiculous. And it's things that we've all heard, a lot of these, and you'll probably be able to relate. Is your sales manager saying it? Is yours not? And if you're a sales manager, like, all due respect to you, listen, I've worked with some great ones, right? I've worked with some great ones. You might be a great one, and that's awesome. I'm not saying you're not, but the majority are not. The auto industry, I mean, really just like any industry, right? Any business, but especially in the auto industry, there's so many people that are in positions that really they have no business being in. A lot of times it's a family thing, right? Mommy and daddy might own it, or, grandparents started it, created it, and family members go into slots kind of like as a birthright, you know what I'm saying? Not as opposed to like they're the best person for the job. And that's I feel bad for those businesses that feel like they have to do that, because a lot of these people, man, they'd be much more in a different position or even in a different industry. But again, because it's that easy, low-hanging fruit for them to go in and grab a little gig, right? Or also it's friends of people that are there, people that just because they've been there for so long, they keep this seat or this slot and on the roster, when in fact that they really shouldn't. And that happens a lot in this industry. But if you're a sales manager, don't take offense by these things. Maybe you say these, maybe you don't. But if you do, switch it up, because these ain't helping anything. Hopefully I'm going to convey to you how they're not helping. All right. So before we go face first into this episode, make sure to get the full blog post, any resources, links, and everything discussed in this episode, go over to Robert Wiseman. That's WIESMAN.com/38. Again, you can get the full blog post and any resources discussed, links to other episodes, and all kinds of cool stuff there. So without further ado, let's jump into the 5 stupidest things automotive sales managers say to salespeople. All right. So real quick before we jump into this, just know that these again are in no particular order. You know me and my fives, and I just put them out there. One is not more harsh, one is not more common, although one is probably more common, but not in list. The list consists of nothing of that. They're in no order, basically. All right, let's jump in. So number one is the manager tells you, just get them in. Right? We have all heard that. Come on, just get them in. Just get them in. Well, no shit, Sherlock. Like, if the salesperson could get them in, he wouldn't be coming to you, right, with the situation and what's going on and what this customer's being difficult about or what have you, right? Like, the person would be in. Right? They'd be coming in. They'd be there or they'd be scheduled to come in, right? Saying just get them in, man, that should not be in a sales manager's repertoire today, right? And as a salesperson hearing that, it's like you're thinking the same thing. It's like, yeah, exactly. Like, that's what I'm coming to you about, is about getting them in. That's it. Like, I'm not coming to you about anything else. And I think that I know that a lot of deals slip through the cracks with stuff like that and miscommunication between sales managers and salespeople, and them just rattling something off like this. You know, when you're dialoguing with a customer via email, right, or over the phone, text, what have you, whatever the circumstances, and you're trying to get them in or get them back in on a certain number of car, like they've seen it, we've done all that. They're not just gonna like, yeah, just come back in, you know, we'll work it out. No, like the conversation has moved past that. Let's face it, that's how the game's played today. And the managers just constantly bringing back to you when you're coming to them, asking them, hey, what should we do with this? You know, what's the final price or whatever? And they're not cooperating with there. And then their solution to offer you is just get them in, right? So that's number one, just get them in, man. That's got to go. And I know I heard that one a lot, and I'm sure that you probably have as well. So number two is sales manager tells you, listen, control your customer. Man, listen, you better, like, your customer's up walking around or whatever, they're getting ready to leave, or, you know, what have you, the circumstances that we run into, and they tell you, listen, man, Robert, you better learn to control your customer. Bro, like, this ain't Nazi Germany. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can't control people, right? You can never control people. You know, as a salesperson, when you hear that, listen, man, what that means is control the process. And then that comes back to, does this manager have a good process in place that everybody is an expert on this process and it runs smoothly, coherently, and everybody's on board? Or do they not, right? Control the customer. Man, you better control your customer. It's you can't control people, right? We don't got guns to their heads. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can't, you know, we're not there to grab them and hold them hostage, right? Or whatever the case may be. So they tell you control your customer, man. Like, that one has to go. That's number two. That's got to go. You can't control people. You can control processes. So how well have you been controlling your process and how good it is? You can control process with individuals, but you can't control individuals. That's number two. When they tell you control your customer, get control, right? Number three, I've heard this one said to more people than it's been said to me. And it's a great motivator for when you're going in trying to work a deal, right? If they leave, you leave with them, right? They've discounted the car. They've worked the deal with you forever. They're to the point. They're like, listen, now, if you can't put this together, your customer's being difficult for whatever reason. And the management's, man, if you can't put this together, man, they leave, you leave with them. Boy, like, that's really making me feel great. And it's going to make me at top of my game, right? Going into this whole thing, right? If it's someone like, to me, I'd hear that and I always never paid it any mind, right? But like, some people, they're comprehending it and like they're newer, right? And they don't know, and they're like, oh man, they're panicking. They're already a little nervous trying to work this deal. And, you know, they send them in there with that kind of ultimatum, or with them even thinking there's an ultimatum. So if they leave, you leave with them. Man, that's got to go. Salespeople, when you hear that, don't even pay it any mind. Look right through that thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just them talking. But it can play with your head if you let it. So don't let it. Number four, another favorite that you hear all the time. Man, stop being weak. Sales manager tell you, man, stop being weak. Man, you're weak, man. Why are you being weak, man? Want me to go up in there, man? You're weak. Listen, the salesperson, bro, isn't weak. They're just not trained. A manager that's calling a salesperson saying they're weak, man, that sales manager is weak, right? Because that person is a product of him. If he's calling you weak, he's calling himself weak because you're a product of him. You're working under his process, right? He should have showed you the game, right? He's coaching you, right? He wants you to listen to him, right? So if he's calling you weak or the salesperson weak, then he's weak, and the salesperson isn't weak. The salesperson is just that salesperson is just not trained, right? They don't know how to handle the situations. They're not weak. They just don't know what the hell to do. You know what I'm saying? So stop being weak. Yo, listen, Robert, stop being weak, man. Go in there and close that. Listen, dead that one too. That's number 4. Number 5. And the final one, again, we're just trying something different here today. Stuff you hear and stuff we can relate with, right? Just having a conversation. So the 5th and final one is, yo, listen, Robert, do I have to do your job for you? Do I have to do your job for you? Man, that one would really grind my gears. And in most cases, it was like trying to work a deal. I'm up at the sales desk. They're being like that. They go in. You want to know how the most sales managers do their job, right? Do your job for you, rather. You want to know how that works? They go in and sit in like they're this big closer, right? This big iron hammer going in there. And all they're closing with is a red marker, man. You know what I mean, bro? Like they're just in there just just slicing the price down, doing the stuff that I could do. No, I don't need you to give away money. Shit, I can do that by myself. No problem, right? It doesn't take talent to do that, bro. It doesn't take a closer. Man, any order taker can make that happen, man. Let me get in there. I don't need you thinking you went in there and made it happen when you didn't, right? So that's what they tell you. Do I have to do your job for you? In many circumstances, whether it's following up with leads, just getting them in, you know what I mean? And sometimes put them to the test. Be like, yeah, I want to see you do it. Teach me how to do this job. Teach me how to do it better. What should I say, right? What should I do here? You know what I mean? I don't need you coming up off the desk all hot, thinking you're, the man going into the office with the customer, chest out, trying to TO and shut them down. And then you're just in there giving away the money, right? Like, listen, I don't need anybody to do that for me. You don't need anybody to do that for you, right? So when they tell you, do I have to do your job for you? Man, yeah, no, but I'd love for you to show me how to do mine better. You know what I mean? If they're hearing that, sales manager, if your sales manager listening, man, kill that noise, man. You're not there to do their job, and they don't want you to do their job. They just want you to show them. Be a leader, be a manager, right? Or if you have a different arrangement wherever you work and there's somebody else that's in charge of the talent and, keeping them on point and keeping them up to date and keeping them sharp, then freaking get with them and put it together, because at the end, you make more money, man. Everybody's going to break more bread. You know what I'm saying? So listen, that was just a little fun one. Let me run through those real quick one last time. The 5 stupidest things automotive sales managers say to salespeople that management needs to stop and salespeople need to stop hearing it, right? Number 1, just get them in. Right? You got a customer on the hook. You're on the phone. You're via email. Just get them in. Yeah, right. Thanks for the tip, man. Great training. I'll keep that in mind. Why didn't I think of that? Right? Number 2, control your customer. Man, again, bro, this ain't Nazi Germany. You can't control individuals, right? We control processes with an individual, but you can't control individuals. Number 3, if they leave, you leave with them. Yeah, that's a real way to motivate somebody, sending them in to try to close a deal, right? In most cases, this happens. I've seen it happen with a newer individual, right? That newer individual might think that he's serious. In most cases, he's not. Sales managers, dead that. Salespeople, man, don't even pay it any mind at all. 4, stop being weak, right? The sales manager, you might hear him say this to you, hopefully not you, or some other people at the dealership, or even saying it to him, to you in a conversation or behind somebody's back. Man, oh, he's weak, man. He's not going to make it. Listen, he's not weak. Sales manager, he's not weak. It's you that are weak, and your training is weak. Get these people ready for the game, right? Get them ready for the game, and you're going to make more money. 5, do I have to do your job for you? Do I really have to do your job for you? And you get up there and just give away money. Listen, management, you don't want to do their job. You got to do your own job. You're not even doing the best at your own job probably, right? So you do your job, I'll do mine. Show me how to do mine better, please. Or to your satisfaction, right? See what they got. Get some knowledge off of them, salespeople. Management, be there to win, right, with your people. Hey, listen, that's it, man. I just wanted to blow and have a conversation, talk about this. So it's a conversation I was having with somebody. I thought this is something that you and I could both relate to, regardless of your position in the dealership, right? So until next time, listen, catch all the posts and everything, the blog posts, all the past episodes, Robert Wiseman, WIESMAN.com. And at that note, listen, I'm out. Have a great week of selling. Go make some money. Have some fun. Peace.